So we are just going to go over Chapter 3, Section 1, Part 3. This is the only part of Section 1 that we have not gone over as a class. Hopefully by now you have your notes out, a pencil, and you are listening to this on your iPads, or you are using the closed caption to watch this. So recently we have been talking about what the Articles of Confederation were, what powers were given to the national government, how they were limited. But today we're going to talk about some of the growing problems. Before we do that, I want to first start by saying there were a lot of successes of the Articles of Confederation. It waged a successful war for independence. It negotiated or made a deal or a peace treaty with Great Britain, which resulted in the Treaty of Paris, and set up rules for settling new territories. Like we have the Land Ordinance of 1785, which created a system for selling and distributing land. And we have the Northwest Ordinance, which provided a way to admit new states based on a three-step system. And we also have the Northwest Territory banning slavery in those new areas. Despite those successes, the Articles of Confederation is known as an incredibly weak system of government. So, a few things that made the Articles of Confederation weak was each state had its own trade policy, so its own course of action as it relates to trade. Each state tried to help its own farmers and manufacturing by setting taxes on goods brought in from other states, which could benefit that particular state but hurt another. And as a whole, we're all in debt. So that made things a little bit challenging. Additionally, each state was printing its own money, and the central government could not tax, which resulted in little money in the government. And again, the government needs money to operate. Now, those are specific economic problems: the trade, the taxes, the printing their own money. Those are all economic problems. Now, we're also experiencing foreign problems under the Articles of Confederation. The British troops continued to occupy their forts in the Northwest Territory despite the fact that the Treaty of Paris required them to be turned over, or those forts to be turned over. And the Spanish, who controlled New Orleans, refused to let Americans ship products down the Mississippi River, forcing farmers to travel through this like really rough, difficult path through the Appalachian Mountains. So not only are we experiencing economic problems, we're experiencing foreign problems. And if you see how I have them paired out, that is something that you are going to want to write out. I might ask you on your question, which of the following is a foreign problem? I want you to be able to identify it, as well as the successes of the Articles of Confederation is something you're going to want to make note of. Now, with all of these weaknesses, Shays' Rebellion was truly the one that shed light and said, essentially, let our founding fathers know that this wasn't working. Now, there was a severe, and that says server, I apologize, there was a severe economic depression that hit the United States in the 1780s, hitting farmers in Massachusetts especially hard. Now, remember, an economic depression means you are running out of money essentially. So, with the fact that the Americans were in a buttload of debt after the American Revolutionary War and their inability to tax, while the states are also doing their own thing, kind of, it really hurt the economy in the United States. Crop prices began to decline, and many were unable to pay their taxes, causing the state government to seize some farms and sell the land in order to get back the taxes. Now remember, while the national government couldn't tax, state governments could, and there was no real rules or regulations on that. So state governments began to tax, which is that money collected to run and operate the government. And if citizens couldn't pay those taxes, the government would then seize or take their land in order to pay back the taxes. A former Revolutionary War captain, Daniel Shays, led an uprising of 1,000 Massachusetts soldiers. The rebellion frightened some leading Americans who believed that a stronger central government would be perfect against popular unrest. As a result, Congress asked the states to send delegates to a convention in Philadelphia in 1787 to revise or make changes to the Articles of Confederation. Now, throughout our lesson already, we've talked a little bit about Shays' Rebellion, and we were able to do a reading, watch some videos regarding Shays' Rebellion. The biggest thing that I want you to make note of here is that Shays' Rebellion was one of the biggest domestic problems that the United States faced. And again, domestic just means at or within one's home or home country. And Shays' Rebellion really signified the fact that the Americas needed a strong central government.